Hey, hey, Mr. Government, where are you? Hey, Mr. President, where are you? Hey, our leader, where are you? Hey, Mr. President, why how? Hey, there's corruption, yeah, in this world. Yeah, 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 we are corrupt politicians. They loot, they steal from the hungry. Mothers cry, fathers stress. We all feel the heat, Mr. President. Corrupt politicians, they eat. Mothers cry, fathers stress. Corrupt politicians, they steal. Why? How we brave enough to face the beast? Are we brave enough to face the pain? There is corruption. Yeah. There is corruption. Yeah. Hey. There is corruption. Yeah. There is corruption. Hey. Hey. Mr. Government, where are you? Hey, Mr. President, where are you? Hey, our leader, where are you? Hey, Mr. President, why how? Je sera notora deja vu. Makamba ni ese. Linda vanotora kunyangwe negoridhe renyika. Why? Sungai vanhu, Mr. President.
This is Letter from America. Today's topic: Observer. The devil is not in hell right now. The devil is July Moyo wreaking absolute havoc on local government in Zimbabwe. While the nation mourns the death of Zimbabwe's leading intellectual, Alex Magaisa, and agonizes over the abduction of a civil rights activist, Mo Blessing Ali, the battle lines are being drawn on the $240 million Palmona West management scandal. Under this deal, Harare City Council has to pay $22,000 a day for 30 years to the controversial Georgianics, a Netherlands-based organization. Rallying under hashtag Pomona Deal Must Fall, national anger and resentment against this deal is rising fast and furiously. But this deal is the tip of the iceberg of gross interference by Minister of Local Government, July Moyo, on local council affairs throughout the country. July Moyo has been likened to a bull in a china shop. He is destroying everything he touches. Someone once remarked, "The devil is not in hell right now. The devil is the Minister of Local Government, July Moyo. He is on a visit to Zimbabwe." More about this later. For a start, the loss of Alex Magaisa, an intellectual giant, has shocked the nation. Dr. Magaisa was, among many things, a constitutional scholar. He effectively criticized the Mnangagwa regime on constitutional grounds so well and so thoroughly that none of the Dizzy Ripachinoi supporters could even challenge him. And talking about Dr. Magaisa, More Blessing Ali on one hand, and July Moyo on the other hand in the same context, is like talking about the forces of good, that is Magaisa and Ali, against the forces of evil, that is July Moyo. Through his sharp intellectual analyses, Dr. Magaisa was able to show the Zimbabweans how much they were being shortchanged by the ZANU-PF regime. He showed in his writings or through Zoom meetings how this regime was whittling away or eroding basic human rights for Zimbabweans. The death of Dr. Magaisa has not only deprived his family of a husband and a father, it has also deprived Zimbabweans of an intellectual leader in the battle against the dictatorship of the Dizzy Ripachinoi regime. In one of his last posts on his famous Big Saturday read, Dr. Magaisa described actions of Mnangagwa and his presidential decree, a bout of economic madness and a cocktail of illegalities. Magaisa wrote, President Emerson Mnangagwa issued an economic declaration that must surely claim a place among the most absurd economic policy initiatives by a governmental authority anywhere in the world. Apart from reversing a disastrous public transport monopoly that should never have been established in the first place, the rest of the measures were knee-jerk reactions to try to solve an economic problem that is fast spiraling out of control, Dr. Magaisa wrote. And these illegalities and absurdities stretch into an accurate description of the Pomona Waste Management scandal. Former Marondela Mayor Chengetai Maroa said Minister Moyo, July Moyo, used the vast powers bestowed on him by the Constitution to fight his council. He said, everything which is done at council, the Minister of Local Government, July Moyo, must authorize it. Another sharp criticism came from the Citizens Coalition for Change, or CCC, led by Nelson Chamisa. CCC spokeswoman Fadzai Mahere called on the central government to stop interfering with the affairs of Harare City Council. This was after local government minister July Moyo responded to the local authorities' suspension of the Pomona Waste to Energy deal between HCC and Geogenics BV, a Netherlands-based organization, by saying the deal can be stopped. This was the minister overriding the Harare City Council decision to suspend this mindless Pomona waste to energy deal. President Emerson Mnangagwa's spokesman, George Charamba, also threatened Harare Mayor Jacob Mafume over the deal, saying he might be arrested for trying to stop a project that he claimed was approved by Cabinet and Parliament. In a statement seen by Pindula News, Triple C said the reaction by senior government officials constituted interference. Mahere continued, the Pomona Waste Management deal was unprocedurally concluded. The deal did not go to tender as required by law to avert corruption. Additionally, it was signed by Councillor Mutizwa, who was illegally appointed by Minister July Moyo. This illegality was recently set aside by the High Court. Any acts purportedly done by Mutizwa in his capacity are a nullity at law. These are clear violations of the Section 68 of the Constitution, which requires all administrative conduct to be lawful, reasonable, and fair, Mahere stated. Independent Member of Parliament Temba Mliswa said the police should arrest July Moyo and jail him for forcing through a deal without going to tender as required by the law. Mliswa said the Pomona deal was grossly overrated and overpriced as a power generation project, but the government is acting like it's all normal. Mliswa said, for your own information, the peak load for Harare is about 500 megawatts, and that promised the Pomona plant of just 15 megawatts cannot supply the suburb of East Lear at peak loading. The purported cost of $240 million for 15 megawatts is scandalous beyond belief, Mliswa said. Mliswa also added that for only $30 million, Harare could get 470 megawatts through a combination of coal-fired power plants, solar plant, and hydropower. Given that July Moyo is implicated in many illegal activities besides the Pomona scandal, Mliswa wondered why July Moyo has not been arrested and jailed. He speculated that Moyo might have some secrets on Mnangagwa that he is keeping as an insurance against his arrest. It is well known that ZANU-PF officials know each other's crimes of corruption and are using information they have on each other not to implicate each other in legal proceedings. Mliswa, who is an independent and outspoken member of parliament, said that July Moyo has ambitions to succeed Mnangagwa as president of the country and that he, July Moyo, is building a support base towards this end. Others speculated that July Moyo deliberately forced the Pomona deal through, knowing it was a very bad deal for the ratepayers in Harare, but he was hoping it would undermine Mnangagwa, whose son is a partner in this deal. In January this year, There were reports that Mnangagwa was considering firing July Moyo after receiving security and official briefings indicating that Moyo harbors presidential ambitions and was a key schemer in many of the problems the ruling party suffered during its chaotic recent general provincial elections. Mliswa also said, July Moyo is well known for being ambitious. The president knows he convened the president knows July Moyo convened a meeting with the Warozwi traditional chiefs so that he could be in power. It is well known that July Moyo has failed dismally to run the local government ministry to the point that people regret where Ignatius Chombo, his predecessor, went. July Moyo, who we all know, acts like a de facto prime minister, Mliswa said. Mliswa revealed that in many places in Zimbabwe, wherever July Moyo went, he was always referred to as prime minister. July Moyo's alleged dabbling in traditional spirits to secure his position is reminiscent of the former Minister of Local Government and later Transport, Enos Chikoore. Chikoore was implicated in a million Zimbabwe dollar scandal at the National Oil Company. But Mugabe took a long time to fire him because Chikoore claimed he had always he had a gona or traditional powers to keep Mugabe in power. So here's a situation where Mugabe knows Chikoore has been implicated in this multi-billion dollar scandal. And each time Mugabe tries to fire him, Chikoore warns him that Changamire ndine gona renyu, say, I have your traditional spirit and you cannot fire me because this traditional spirit that I have is what keeps you in power. But nevertheless, Chikoore was ultimately forced to resign in 2000. Chikoore died in 2015 while watching a television broadcast of Mugabe announcing his choice of ruling party politicians for nominated posts in parliament. Chikoore had been omitted from those appointments. Moyo's co-conspirator, former State Security Minister Owen Muda Nyube, was dismissed from his position. There were expectations that Moyo would be the next to go, and there were several reasons, besides the Pomona scandal, to fire July Moyo. In another act of outrage, July Moyo forced the Victoria Falls municipality to scrap a tender for supply of water pumps in favor of his hand-picked supplier. Moyo's preferred supplier, a company owned by his friend Paul Kruger, was $2 million more expensive, according to the Zimbabwe Independent. Moyo is subject to a Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission investigation over another contract for the supply of water pumps in Harare, for which Kruger's company was paid $9.3 million in 2019. The contract was imposed on the city of Harare by July Moyo without public tendering. In yet another case of corruption, The Auditor General's report showed that July Moyo's Ministry of Local Government could not account for more than $130 million from his budget allocation. Corruption in Zimbabwe has resulted in an estimated 1.3 billion US dollars that goes missing or unaccounted for every single year. ZAC, or Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, began investigating Moyo after Themba Mliswa wrote to them claiming Kruger was corruptly favored for the supply of the Harare pumps at a cost of, as I said, 9.3 million US dollars. Mliswa insisted that similar pumps cost just 2 million US dollars from other suppliers. July Moyo has also been implicated in a massive land scandal in Masvingo after it emerged that he is piling pressure on the ancient city's local authority to give vast tracts of land to an Indian investor in a suspicious, murky deal. This company, known as Simbi, retrenched some of its workers in 2019 due to financial challenges. Yet it is eyeing a multi-million-dollar project which requires a huge tract of land. Citizens Coalition for Change, Manicaland chairperson Prosper Mutseami, has also accused local government July Moyo of abusing devolution funds. Mutseami said Moyo was deliberately delaying the disbursement of the funds to local authorities so as he can keep embezzling that money. The Dangamvura Chikanga legislator said this during a constituency in Daba recently convened by the Zimbabwe Coalition on Debt and Development, or ZIMCOD, in Mutare. And Center for Natural Resource Governance Director Farai Magu said government insistence that the Pomona project should go on despite that it is mired in corruption proved that some powerful people could be involved in this deal. The message that has emerged to all Zimbabweans is July Moyo is symptomatic of a train wreck of a dizzy Pachinoi administration that is determined to bring down Zimbabwe into ruins, just like they did with Operation Murambachina. Even ZANU-PF supporters are also beginning to feel the pinch. Leaked audio messages attest to a growing discontent within the ranks of ZANU-PF, who are now talking of Bora Musango. What Bora Musango means is disgruntled ZANU-PF supporters will, come the 2023 elections, either vote for Chamisa and the Triple C, or vote for anyone but ZANU-PF, or spoil their ballots, or not bother to vote. Bora Musango's strategy was used successfully in 2008 elections to protest the economic decline. For more than 10 years, Zimbabwe had been experiencing an economic decline that resulted in an inflation rate of 231 million% and an unemployment rate of over 90%. Research has concluded that the economic decline of Zimbabwe had mainly been caused by poor monetary policies and failure of fiscal purposes to control the budget deficit. This was the situation in 2008. And this is exactly the situation in this year, 2022. Bora Musango, as I said, was used successfully to protest these poor economic conditions. And as I said earlier, for more than 10 years, Zimbabwe had been experiencing a precipitous economic decline, partly as a result of Bora Musango. In the general election of 2008, MDC-T Tsvangirai won 47.9% of the vote and Mugabe 43.2% of the vote. In other words, Tsvangirai beat Mugabe in the presidential election of 2008. But that was not all. In the parliamentary election, MDC-T, led by Tsvangirai, won 99 of the 207 confirmed seats. ZANU-PF won 97 seats. So MDC-T beat ZANU-PF in both presidential and parliamentary elections in 2008. But the truth of the matter, however, was Tsvangirai actually won 73% of the vote and Mugabe less than 30% of the vote. How do we know this? Because Mugabe himself inadvertently revealed this in the latter years of his life. Bora Musango today is manifested by an increasing number of ZANU-PF supporters who are openly and secretly expressing support for Triple C. Triple C is gaining massive support not only in urban areas but in rural areas, where ZANU-PF has traditionally claimed to have strong monopolistic support. But this is no longer the case. Whenever Chamisa visits rural areas, he is mobbed by enthusiastic thousands of people. This is making ZANU-PF leadership very nervous. Bora Musango will be an attestation that, as one disgruntled member put it, Chinu ichichawora, ZANU-PF is rotten. Chinu ichichafa, ZANU-PF is dead. Panic-stricken Mnangagwa is reported to have ordered what he calls an audit of all the party structures. According to this directive, everyone is expected to attend their cells at 10 a.m. on June 11. The problem now is ZANU-PF thugs are using threats and intimidation to force people to come. What this same Dizzy Ripachinoi outfit don't know is, yes, many people will come to the cell at 10 a.m. on June 11. They will sing songs in praise of ZANU-PF. They will salute the ZANU-PF flag. They will buy party cards and scarves. They will do everything that they are required to do on this day. but few will vote for ZANU-PF come 2023 elections. Rural people have learned the tricks of the trade.
This concludes today's broadcast of Letter from America, a weekly in-depth analysis of the situation in Zimbabwe. Thank you for listening.
There is corruption. Yeah. There is corruption.